Yeah, so my name is Martijn Barkhuis, but people know me maybe better as DJ Maestro. And I got my fame a little bit because I had a contract at Blue Note Records for a long time, between 2002 and 2012. So I made 9 albums and they sold like a lot. And that was my thing that I could travel with my records. But even longer, I started DJing when I was 15 and I'm almost 55 now, so I celebrate my 40 years of DJing now this year. But yeah, I started making radio in 1997. There was a national radio station called Jazz Radio at the time, and through university, I got an internship. But within 3 days, my boss and the music programmer were fired, and they asked me, "Can you do it?"
To take over.
Yeah, and I did, and until that time, the station was at like 0%, and within 3 months, I lifted up to 1%. So everybody was, "Hey, who's this guy that's doing nice music?"
Nice.
But actually, I didn't know nothing at the time, but it was.
Yeah, you were just fueled by
Okay,
passion.
go do it. And I jumped in it, and since then, the combination of jazz and radio was really my thing. So finally it got sold, and I worked for another station called JFK. That was late 90s. They were also sold. Then I started at Blue Note, and then I started working at Aero Jazz FM. It was jazz radio running from 2003 till 2009. They went bankrupt in 2009, not because of me, but they also bought another station, and within no time the whole business was gone. Then I tried to get my own FM frequency, national in Holland.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. And in the same time I also worked for Radio 6, Soul and Jazz. And then the party that got the FM frequency, they called me. You want to be director, and we have plans with the station. So then I launched Sublime FM.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hear about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but 1 month after the launch, I thought this is not my company, so I resigned.
Yeah, you didn't like the environment.
No, because it was terrible people.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
And a terrible owner that was shouting at me. Then I started my own jazz radio.
Yes, jazz radio indeed. And so
Yeah.
your role is like founder and of course
Founder,
also curator.
programmer, everything.
Everything around
Yeah.
it. I would like to ask you when you started Jazz de Ville, you know?
It started 8 years ago, but first under the name just Radio Jazz.
Radio Jazz, okay.
Yeah, but my company was called Jazz de Ville, because I thought we have to shake up the jazz world a little bit, play with a different kind of, not the old man's people jazz, you know.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
Yeah, and give it a more sexy name, so to attract also more younger people to listen to it.
Yeah, nowadays it seems like that indeed. I listen to a lot the groove section of the four.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually the groove section is the most popular of the 4 streams, and also jazz, those two.
Also
and
jazz
chill
and
a little less, and the party not so much.
Yeah, I love the groove and the jazz, both of them.
Yeah. And I think people don't expect a party channel on a station like this.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's also we like to listen to party when we go to a club. Sometimes I don't know. Party and radio somehow doesn't work.
It's difficult.
Yeah, to match. So I wanted to ask you what inspires you to start this radio. Like, what is the idea behind sharing your music, sharing jazz, sharing?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so mostly that.
And I worked for all those commercial stations, and I never was allowed to play real jazz or only hits. Yeah, and I think there's enough stations that play the hits.
Yeah.
And there's not so many stations in the world that play real jazz.
So it's a quest also for, let's say, independence, to being able to,
Yeah.
without...
And having not a boss above me, and do it myself. Which is, of course, difficult, but still standing, and now we will commercialize it a little bit with the launch of the app, but it's only €3 a month.
Yeah.
And I know this, we're played in like 110 countries, and we have over 100,000 of unique listeners a month. So I thought, okay, maybe now it's time to make a little bit of money on it.
Yeah, it's good numbers.
Yeah.
You have there.
And we never did marketing yet. Only made some stickers once. That's it. And I'm really bad in social media, so now one of my best friends has a big social media company, and he's going to take over that.
Yeah, it's also going to help for sure.
And other people are going to do sales. And,
you put the passion and the music.
Yeah.
We saw what inspired the idea, inspired it, but also something that sometimes we always get inspired from our ancestor, let's say. So I wanted to ask if there was a radio that existed before Jazz de Ville that inspired you to start, or like you saw it as an inspiration for your own radio?
Yeah, there was one in when I went to New York a lot in the past.
Okay.
Also, every time there was on Saturday night, you have this body and soul night. So I saw Joe Classell always playing, one of my favorite DJs, and François K.
Yeah. Also, Top Disco King.
And the first time I played in New York, I was on a boat called the Frying Pan, and I was playing. And I felt there was somebody behind me, and I looked over my shoulder, and there was François K standing. And oh fuck, my favorite DJ. But he did okay, cool. And there was a party by this DJ, maybe you know him, Nicodemus.
No, Nicodemus, no.
No, yes, he's an American DJ, but he's playing more world music, and he's flying all over the world.
Yeah, maybe I listened to some of his production actually, because now it's something he's also producing music, right?
Yeah, a lot, and he has his own label called Turntables from the Hudson. Maybe you know that name.
No, but Nicodemus, I think I know. I have some remixes of him.
So I went record shopping with him in New York, and I always follow François K.
François K actually came also here, I think last month, for a party of Tono Disco.
Yeah. But there was a radio station when I was in New York, and I forgot the name. But always when I get into the taxi, and I was like, "Can you put on that?" And it was real like black music, soul, jazz. It was really inspiring, and there was nothing like that in Holland.
Okay.
So I tried a little bit with the Groove channel, but I gave my own twist on it. It's not exactly the same.
Yeah, we do always the new stuff. We just get inspiration from it. But nice that it was like the connection is so far as New York, you know. So it means that you also bring an idea that was outside of this land, you know, into it. So impressive.
Yeah, because when I became director of Aero Jazz FM, and to make it in other channel, I had completely different ideas about how the station should sound. I wanted to make it much more urban, black music, but the owner didn't like it. So then he came up with this name, Sublime. I hated the name.
You want something more commercial, more accessible.
I couldn't even play Nina Simone or something. It's Billie Holiday. He hates old singers.
Okay, so the old jazz singers.
And also the owner of the previous Aero Jazz FM was like, when I played soul, he was shouting at me like, "This is gay disco." Gay disco? Are you crazy?
Just give me music.
So I got it was stressful to work for somebody that who's not into music and shouting stupid things.
Yeah, sometimes these people are there for fitting, let's say, the bills and to fit the practical aspect of music, you know, but they don't know much about music itself.
Like most stations in Holland play the same music.
I don't think
they all want to be the biggest, so they play the biggest hits. They do top 100s and 2000s every month. They follow each other like crazy, and none of them is really real. That they think we should play this kind of music, and maybe we will not be the biggest station, but they will make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, they try to make music that like stream music that is relatable to everyone, but in a way it doesn't really bring any kind of message or any kind of deep to the musical talk.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, I understand. We saw it often, and I think also in other countries sometimes.
Yeah, it's all about money, yeah.
It is.
but you also can make money, or maybe you won't be the biggest or the most famous, but if you can make a decent living with doing something nice, that's much more where the heart is.
Yeah, we understand that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but this gives a lot of insight over it.
Yeah, still people think in the real jazz scene they think I'm very commercial because I sold so many records, but when we started that, we couldn't imagine that we doing Blue Note Trip all over the world, and I was playing in Paradiso and all the sold out shows every month, and still people are looking for those records.
Yeah. I saw I like the way was big back then for that. It was also like Opolopo. They did some work with it, some remix.
He made a remix for me for the Nina Simone album that I did.
Exactly. Nina Simone was like the pack.
Yeah, that's all my friends. So I didn't know all those guys.
Oh, amazing.
From touring. And Nicola was a little bit pissed that I didn't ask him for Nina Simone.
It was his alley.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question on like you already say a little bit about this, about the name of the radio. So the name started as Jazz Radio, you told me.
Yeah.
But what was the process to bring it to Jazz de Ville, or how the Jazz de Ville as a name came to life?
Yeah, because Jazz Radio was a little bit too common of a name.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to make marketing on it.
Yeah.
And I already had this. My company name was already Jazz de Ville, and it was a little bit to make it a little bit more sexy. Of course, you have the tenue de ville, the way you can dress. But we also in Amsterdam there was at where's the Westergasterrein there was a space that was called Club de Ville.
Oh, Club de Ville. So that was also the connection with the jazz.
Yeah, and I played there a lot in the past. So and then one of my friends, he's a marketeer, came up with the name Jazz de Ville.
Jazz de Ville, because you were playing jazz in the Club de Ville, basically.
Yeah. Also, I made a little bit of a funny logo, which is not the typical jazz festival logo or something. It's different. And before that, I can show you a little bit later. First, when I was trying to get the FM frequency, I made something which was way more street, but I sold that name to somebody else, so I couldn't use it anymore. So the logo not anymore. I had to find something new, but I was still very happy with that idea that I had. I can show you.
Yeah, show me please. Just to record everything.
This was our
Radio Jazz,
which was written more like a little bit graffiti feel. So we made a whole book for how we wanted to make a real jazz radio.
Yeah.
We made it was in the finances. I worked on this for years and years, 2 years, 3 years almost.
It's like his blueprint to the radio, right?
And but I got fucked because the ones that got the frequency. So I made a bid of 20,000 euros, and he knew this because he knew people in politics. So he made a bid of 20,000 in 11 euros, and that's how he got FM.
Bastard.
And later he really told me he was proud on it. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. Just
2-3 years of working for nothing.
Yeah. Nasty.
Yeah, there's also corruption in Holland. Nobody thinks that there's no corruption here, but it is here.
It is everywhere.
Yeah.
Bad people greedy people are everywhere.
Yeah. So this was supposed to be it.
The jazz,
and I had a lot of following, and the Dutch jazz world was behind me.
Yeah.
But we didn't get it, and then I had to change my plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still a pity.
This was the first part, so this was the ideology behind the radio.
Mhm.
Let's say now we move a little bit more on the practical side, so we are halfway through, I think. So for the practical sides, I would like to know what is your process, because this is a 24/7 radio.
Yeah, 4
And-
channels, and it's all produced in the cloud. It's an
Okay.
Italian company called Jazz de Ville. And they really have quite a good scheduling program, and it's not too expensive. Yeah,
And how do
it
you-
really works. So I make a clock, so like a library for the 4 stations, with about between 1,500 to 2,000 songs. So I'm not a commercial radio that plays only 600 songs, but I like to have a little bit more. I think also my listeners are a little bit more intelligent than for a normal hits radio station. So if you only play 600 songs and you listen to it for 2 days,
You listen to
because
them all.
because an average radio station plays like 314 songs a day.
Yeah, in a couple of days you could go back to the
Within
start.
2 days you have all the songs.
Yeah. You don't want to listen.
So I want to keep it so every week I put in new music, songs that have been playing too long, put it out, or
Okay, so you have like 4 pools,
yeah.
and every week you bring some songs in and you bring some songs out.
Yeah.
And new songs that you bring in, how do you find them in the record shop, or you
All kinds of ways. I got of course a lot of promos by all the jazz and more black music related labels. So I listen a lot of music every week. Also, you can see I buy a lot of vinyl still. There's a lot of songs that are only on vinyl and not digital. So then I digitalize some songs. Every now and then I do some digitalizing, and then I make the processing and put it on the channel.
Nice. So you can also use something that is like unavailable usually on the digital platform.
Officially you're not allowed to play it, but
Yeah. But we want to share the music.
Yeah.
Well, this question I think is answered by itself. But if the radio has a preferred musical genre, but I think it's jazz, maybe.
Yeah, but jazz and beyond.
Jazz and beyond. Okay.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, I hear
But
a
it's
lot
also
of.
the groove is very much more funky.
Exactly.
A little bit of hip hop, but not too much. But I like to play the originals of hip hop songs. So that's also when I started DJing when I was 15. I started with disco, but then at 18 I came more into hip hop, and then I was searching for the original music behind those hip hop songs.
I mean, like the
that's
sample,
where
where
my
it was
real love for funk and jazz started.
I mean, where the songs were sampled, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They are great songs. That one.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I once had the idea to make a whole channel with only hip hop. I also had a URL called H2O, hip hop to originals.com.
Oh, nice.
But I sold that one to somebody that had bigger plans with it. But I don't know. I'm not sure if he did anything with it.
Yeah, it's also nice, really nice style. H2O.
Yeah.
It's like water. So I wanna ask also like a challenge that this radio face, because I feel also different radio has different challenges. So what is the one challenge in the past that maybe you have solved already, or also at the present that you still haven't solved? You can.
Yeah, well, I still would like to go every now and then more live, but until now I didn't have the money for it, and not the power, because I'm doing it alone, and now I'm getting some more help. So we're like having a manager from Croatia, and we're going to work also with a media company there. It's going to do a lot of promo for us, and now we found 2 brands that can. They want to have a little like mini festival in Croatia this summer, 2 days of jazz. I'm gonna program it, and maybe it would be really nice to broadcast it as well on one of the channels.
Yeah, so makes it more dynamic, let's say, live acts, and not only just pre-played from.
Yeah, exactly. So I have plans for that, but it takes a lot of time and money.
Yeah.
And,
This is a challenge of the present. So also
yeah.
like building up a team that is able to help you in achieving this.
Yeah. Yeah, but also from October on, there's a really nice hotel here in Amsterdam, and they want to program jazz every Sunday afternoon. I'm going to call it Jazz de Ville, also maybe to attract some sponsors, and all my friends from the jazz scene can play there. So we have to go more outside, because now you see I'm
So
here
long
in
line,
my
yeah.
living room,
Yeah.
surrounded by my records, but I'm always working alone.
Yeah, it's
And
like
I want to go more. Of course, I'm DJing, but I want to go out with Jazz de Ville to make it more visible.
to connect it in real life, let's say, with
Exactly.
people.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you see in the future? Well, in general of radios, maybe later we can talk about Jazz de Ville particularly, but
But
I would
in
like.
general, well, the advertisers still are into FM frequencies, but I think the online is growing now.
You mean like independent radios
Yeah.
compared to the national one? Yeah.
Yeah, I know a guy, and he lives in Brazil, and he wants to launch a channel with only Brazilian funky jazz. I said, okay, I can help you. It's not so difficult to start a radio station online.
Yeah, nowadays not.
No, in the same end, there are so many radio stations now in the world, hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get seen.
To get visibility for what you bring. More competing world, let's say.
Yeah. I also know this guy is running this station already for years and years, called Soul Radio, and but he already started this like 15 years ago or something. So it takes time. And they say radio is slow business, and it is. It takes time to build an audience, unless you have a lot of money to make marketing. But and also when you change your format in the radio, you lose. If you change the format, you will lose a lot of people, and it takes a long time before you
to rebuild it again.
Yeah.
By format you mean basically moving from a live streaming to 24/7, or also change the genre that somebody they wanna be.
Yeah, but my feeling is now that maybe not the party channel, but the other three channels are running the way I like it, and they keep on working to keep it fresh with new tracks.
Yeah, the groove and the jazz channel definitely attract people. They attract me.
Yeah.
So that's for sure.
Yeah, like around Christmas we had some technical problems. There was something wrong in where the streams were made in Italy, and it kept on like three of the four channels were playing 10 seconds of one track. Then it became quiet, and then again that was 10 seconds, and then it was around Christmas, so the office there was closed. So I couldn't reach them, and there were hundreds of people that were emailing and calling me like, my favorite radio is broke and it's down, and it was so stressful. Especially it was Christmas, so nobody was working. But still,
you have no way to fix it.
Yeah, and also with Christmas, I don't play Christmas music because I really hate Christmas music. So sometimes I make a post where the channel without Christmas music.
I understand. I saw like Tower of Power, they released an LP last Christmas about Christmas. I didn't even listen to it because I could not. Okay, but yeah, I think it's right that the radio. What do you say to the radio about how they struggle if they change, and also the future of them, how they're going.
You also know called this channel, they have an FM frequency called Your Safe Radio.
You're Safe?
Yeah. The director is a famous radio DJ called Giel Belen, and he started this channel for Generation Z.
Okay.
Z. But they don't even have still no website, and I played there for a year for free. Made a 2-hour mix every Saturday night. But it's strange. They have a completely new format, like influencers. They hire influencers to talk about music or what else. It's a lot of talking, a little bit of music.
Yeah.
Some more music at night and in daytime, but nobody gets paid there.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But this radio goes like online? Is it live?
No, it's on the FM and DAB, of course, and online.
Okay, so it's on.
But they don't have an app yet, no website, so they should build it.
Yeah,
Because I think it could be something, because it's also something completely new. But it will take years before they can build this.
Yeah, as you say, it takes time to build an audience and then being able to monetize in some way.
Yeah, and I don't believe in DAB.
DAB?
DAB Plus. It's like digital radio that you can get in your car.
Okay.
All those big channels have a DAB channel. But people still like FM, I think. Still, and of course, everything will be by your telephone in the future.
Yeah,
it already is, and it will get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I connect basically only to underground, so radios that I know people from, mostly I don't listen to national radio. But everybody changed.
And especially the youth doesn't listen to radio anymore.
Exactly, but I think sometimes they don't listen to radio at all, Sometimes when they listen to radio, they like to listen more to underground and independent radios.
But if you see all the big channels in Holland, 538 and Q, and they always say our target group is 25-49. But if you see the most popular radio stations in Holland, they play like for people for 50 plus.
Yeah.
Because that's still the people that listen to radio.
Yeah, the most of the audience.
And 52% of Holland is 50 years or older. And they still listen. So if you're smart, that's your target audience. But maybe advertisers are not that interested in those old people, because younger people can be manipulated easier to drink your cola or buy that car, things like that.
Yeah, it's a bit. They want to definitely connect to the youngest also, but it's hard indeed because the youngest are not paying much attention to the radio.
No, not at all.
I agree.
I have a 12-year-old daughter, radio.
Yeah,
she's on TikTok and Snapchat and YouTube.
I started listening to radio like 5 years ago, not before. Well, I used to listen to national radio in Italy actually, but they were terribly musically wise. They didn't give me anything.
Like I once made a remix of what's his name, Prenny La Così from Battisti. What's his name?
Lucio Battisti.
Yeah, I made a remix of that.
Oh, I see.
And then really good. People liked it, and then I wrote, but we didn't get the rights on it, so we were calling with Sony Italy and. And at the end, I finally found. I got the address of his former wife.
Passed away, true.
And I wrote her a really nice letter, and an Italian friend of mine translated it into Italian.
Yeah.
But I never got an answer.
I think she had. Many people had the same problem that the rights went to the wife, and the wife wasn't reachable.
She doesn't want anything
exactly
to be done with the music of her husband.
Yeah.
So maybe when she dies once,
maybe the son,
his children.
You can open up again the conversation over that.
But I love him.
Yeah, it's a bit sad that like the music is stuck. His music right now is stuck there and it cannot be touched by anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna go to the closing up. For the closing up, I want to start by asking what's next for your station. We talked already when we arrived, I think, but we weren't recording already. So about the app, I think that is coming up in these days.
Launched this app, and probably the website will be transformed. So hopefully Monday, Tuesday, everything is ready.
So really like next week.
Yeah.
Nice, exciting.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a new album. on actually it's a trance label.
Yeah.
Once founded by DJ Tiesto.
Yeah.
And then another guy, and Chesto left the label, but the other guy is still running. And last summer I went to some trance festival, and we were hanging out with Paul Oakenfold, the famous DJ. And then he introduced me to the label. And then he said, he's a maestro. Even Paul Oakenfold, he knows all my albums. And like, oh, you know them? Surprisingly, but he loves jazz. So now I'm texting with Paul all the time. Maybe go into the studio together. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna try to ask him.
Yeah, you never know where the fans are. You know, they can be.
And I mentioned him on the album. Special thanks to Paul and to other people.
Can be like a small DJ as me, you know, or it can be a big producer, you know.
Yeah.
Fans are everywhere. The album, where we can find it on Bandcamp? It's gonna be released or?
Yeah, as soon as I have more info, I will text it you.
Okay. So
but the name is Deep Trip.
Deep Trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm Mr. Trip. Even my first two albums once were like Latin house albums in 89, 99 something. And they called Latino beats, but then in the subtitle there was already a deep Latin house trip. So most of my albums have some trip. So that's my thing.
Deep Trip.
Yeah, I'll show you the cover. It's made by my neighbor. He's an artist.
Let's see.
He's a painter, but he does strange things with text.
Yeah.
It's really arty.
It looks a bit scientific almost.
Yeah.
Right?
But everybody, especially younger people, really like the cover.
Yeah, a bit
and
abstract.
It's completely different than what I did with Blue Note.
Yeah. They were
so
like
I thought,
we saw on the wall.
But there's really strange texts in it. But you can turn it 4 sides, and there's a lot of text. So it's also kind of a puzzle.
Yeah.
You can see the track list.
Yeah, we need demos. We talk about it.
Some new stuff, some old stuff, really obscure stuff as well. Yeah, they were. It's a trance label, but I think they want to widen their interest a little bit. It's a little bit deep housey, jazzy, funky.
It's more like club oriented.
It's very musical.
Yeah,
it's not like.
See. We know. I think totally understand what you mean when, like, you don't have to sacrifice the musicality to make club music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so we are in the last two questions. Is if you have any shout out for artists or scene that you think deserve more attention.
Well, jazz in general should get more attention. A lot of people, when they say I play jazz, they look at you, stupid music. But there's so much in jazz. It's music from 1920 till now, and there's so many different new things happening as well, especially in England and Germany and in Finland. It's all over the world. There's a lot of young jazz musicians, and they should be heard more. And I have another plan, maybe to get a 5th channel on Jazz de Ville with only Dutch jazz.
Oh.
But all the musicians that I'm going to play should still be alive. So I'm not going to play the old stuff.
But the new stuff.
The new stuff, yeah.
That brings also like to my mind a project that's called Loyal to the Soil. And it's a project by Stepping Into Tomorrow from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
They also deal a lot with jazz. And they also had 2 episodes, I think. They do in different radios, underground radios, where they indeed promote these Dutch jazz artists, and especially.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they did.
Can you send me a link of this?
I will, because I had like I host them one time for them because I'm a host for a radio in Utrecht, and they came and they did it. It was really nice.
But maybe we could help each other. Because I have, of course, a lot of knowledge of the business.
But you know, Step Into Tomorrow, you hear about it, this platform?
No.
Yeah, I started in 2020, so it's kind of recent. And the people that are behind are Lucas Benjamin, Leroy Ray.
Leroy, I know, yeah.
And Mov Wright. So Mov Wright and Lucas Benjamin are the young. Leroy
but I
is
don't
like,
see Leroy as a jazz DJ, but
it's a bit of more a house disco DJ
Yeah.
for sure.
he's a good DJ.
But Lucas is
Yeah.
more into jazz. Lucas is, I feel,
Yeah,
is
I
the
think
jazz part.
I know him, and he once sent me some stuff. I think
Yeah.
that's a while ago.
But I want to definitely share it with you so you can see it. But yeah, so jazz always deserve more attention. So the last question is how people can tune in and actually support your station.
How they can support it by telling everybody that we exist
Yeah,
and download the app, please.
yeah. There's gonna be available next week, right?
It's already in the store, but maybe I'm gonna bring it out next week.
Okay, so
Yeah.
download the app and just talk with everybody about Jazz de Ville.
Yeah.